Howdy folks, it's Attillio and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we have 3 new bush trips. You did not hear me incorrectly. We have not gone back in time. This video is current, don't worry. But the other day, World Update 19 dropped, South America, and with it, they have 3 more bush trips. So just when I thought we were done with bush trips forever and ever and ever, we were 100% complete, they've added 3 more. And I'm going to try to take my time to get them done. Not in a hurry, but I do have to intentionally set aside time for these. I thought we were done bush trips forever. I'll admit I wasn't bummed because I'm at the point of this now where I enjoy these bush trips, but I do kind of feel like it's an obligation. Of course, I'm not obligated to anybody or anything. It's just a psychological thing, right? Like we've done all 50 something of these. And now there are 3 more to do, which is fine. And 2 of them are pretty long. This first one is only like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. But the other ones are like 8 hours. So, plenty of bush trip action to do, I guess. Wow, that's not really a bush trip plane. The TBM 930? Really? Okay. Anyway, so this one we're going to start with, just like we've done for hundreds and hundreds of legs now. We'll fly them, talk about them, do some sightseeing. I'll talk more and less, depends how I'm feeling as I record. Sometimes I talk a lot, sometimes I don't talk much at all. And we'll combine legs. So for example, this has 7 legs. We're going to combine at least 2 or 3 legs in each video. So expect 3 or 4 videos for this bush trip. You all know how it goes. I assume most of you are here because of bush trips. So that's how you found me. So there you go. Flight conditions will change weather if we need to, because they've been allowing us to change weather lately in bush trips. And I didn't know that until several bush trips in, when I couldn't complete some of them, and then I realized, oh, I can change weather, make it flyable, that type of thing. Anyway, so this is the first video on this bush trip. So what do? That means we talk about it and read about it, and then we'll do these 2 legs in the first video. And then the next video I might do 2 or 3. And then, maybe we'll do this in 3 videos. I think I said that 3 or 4, yeah. So anyway, here we go. All right, discover Brazil. That's the name of the bush trip. Located in the eastern portion of South America, try that again. Brazil, located in the eastern portion of South America, is an immense and dynamic country. Spanning both the northern and southern hemispheres, it occupies roughly half of the landmass of South America, and is the largest country by both physical size and population in Latin America. It boasts more than 4,600 miles of coastline and comprises the majority of the Amazon rainforest, the largest rainforest in the world. I would love to visit the Amazon in real life someday, but again, I wouldn't want to do touristy things, and going off the beaten path in the Amazon as an upper Midwestern American is probably a very terrible idea. Because what in the world would I know about surviving in the Amazon if you leave a resort, for example? Right? I would love to like kayak down the Amazon River. Probably not a good idea, but that's what I would like to do. Brazil is one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world. It was colonized by the Portuguese beginning in 1500, and people from throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa immigrated to Brazil in the following centuries. Today, Brazil is renowned for its economic, cultural, and natural vibrancy. It is home to 15 cities with more than 1 million inhabitants, including Sao Paulo, the country's most populous with more than 11 million. Also, on behalf of my Portuguese friends and former in-laws, Brazilian friends and former in-laws, they speak Portuguese, they're not Spanish. I know that's the biggest pet peeve of Brazilians. Everybody thinks they speak Spanish. I mean, I'm sure some do. But their language is Portuguese, which sounds similar to Spanish, but it's way different than Spanish. So I'll just say that on behalf of my Brazilian viewers, too. This bush trip begins far inland of Sao Paulo and strikes a northeasterly course to one of the world's most distinctive cities, Brasilia. Located in the Brazilian highlands, Brasilia is the nation's capital and 3rd most populous city. It is famed for its beautiful modern architecture and for its detailed layout, which resembles a bird from above. Flight tips. Weather, date, and time are customizable. Live weather is preset. Say aircraft are cold and dark after each landing to end the flight. Preferably one of the parking lots. Use ATC if you like. This is created to use a VFR flights. All necessary information is contained in the nav log. If necessary, a GPS course is available. Okay, so we'll talk about navigation in a minute. Weather, we'll look at the weather and see if we need to change it or not. Yeah, well, okay, there you go. 2.75 knots. We should not need to change the weather unless it's really hazy and foggy and we can't see. But as far as wind goes, it's not a problem. Cold and dark, usually we just stop on the runway and turn everything off because I've had too many problems where we'll go to a parking spot and it won't work. And we go back to the runway and turn it off and it works. So for the sake of logistics and technical reasons, I'll just turn the airplane off on the runway, although that's not very immersive, I know, but I've had too many problems turning the plane off in a parking spot, even though it says to do it. As far as navigation, like I said, we'll talk about in a minute. So without further ado, let's get going and see if we're starting cold and dark also. Alright, so 7:20 a.m., so sunrise, which is fantastic. It is cloudy, but it does not look foggy, so we should be able to keep the weather the way it is. There's the sun rising, and the wind is just fine. So, what else? Frame rates are incredibly high, which is fantastic. And look at the detail of the city. I know this is a flight simulator, not a sightseeing simulator. Although, no. Bush trips are certainly sightseeing flights. That's the whole point. So yes, it is a sightseeing simulator in a lot of ways. I'm just taking a minute to look at this because this is a very, very, very long-awaited update for South America. People have been asking for it since the day the sim launched, and they finally were able to get the data they needed. A bunch of political stuff. That was one of the most frustrating things to have to listen to during the live streams and updates are all the people in the comments and chat saying, why don't you do South America, blah, blah, blah. And for years, the flight sim folks have said, we want to, we just aren't allowed to because of politics and other things. So I'm not going to get into it deeper than that. But finally, they've been able to gather information they needed and release it. So that's why we have this update. And because this is Flight Simulator 2020 and they have promised support for 10 years, we will still be getting updates in Flight Sim 2020, even though they also update Flight Sim 2024. So there you go. Alright, I have to remember how to start this plane, because I have not started this plane in a very, very, very long time. In fact, I haven't started this plane since the last time I've started this plane. So I am going to have to take out my checklist, because the smaller planes for bush trips, it's easy. I just flip a few switches, have them memorized, no big deal. But this one has been a while, so let me find it on my checklist here, the Taher TBM. And on my other monitor now I have my checklist for cold and dark. And we're going to go through this. We're not going to go through every single detail because we don't need to. But we are going to do what we need to do, obviously. Crash bar goes up. Source battery, I can't see anything. There's battery, good, I can see now. That's good. Generator main goes up one. Panel lights, that would be nice. Oh, look at that. They go on full blast though and then come down from there. Cool. There we go. Very nice. Cabin lights on. We don't really care about that for this thing. Start the main flight display. It already is. Multifunction display. This one. There we go. Landing gear light test. Don't care about that. Fuel economy. Don't care about that. Let's do a repair and refuel to fill everything up to the max. I put that on my keyboard. Okay, so those of you who are new to flight or new to bush trips, yeah, at some point you'll need to map repair and refuel, which I think they've renamed actually, to your keyboard, or I guess a button anywhere. For me, it's Control R. That way I can just refuel anywhere, anytime, and repair the airplane. Doesn't matter. Let's see here. I say that because there are some bush trips where they don't give you fuel options and you just refuel. So, in fact, I think it tells you in the instructions to map repair and refuel, or whatever it's called now. Alright, let's see here. Come up here. Strobe lights. There we go. In fact, for the sake of this, let's just turn them all on. I really don't care.
System test.
Taxi lights, just to
Okay.
turn it all on right now. Yoke conditioner full, yes. Ignition auto, I think that's up here. It already is. Let's see here. Boost pump on. There you go. Starter on. It turns off automatically. Is that all it is to start the thing? Yeah, they're just waiting for everything to stabilize. Oh, that was easy. Eventually I'll memorize this, and then I won't need to go through my checklist every time. Of course, if we were doing a full immersive flight, you always use a checklist no matter how well you know the plane. But for bush trips, I just like to get going, right? So we don't have to sit here and spend half an hour in each video getting going when we could be flying legs, especially when the bush trips get very, very long. Although we've never had this in a bush trip. I think it's kind of weird that this is in a bush trip. But looking at the map during the loading screen, there is a lot of ground they want to cover in a short amount of time. Feather throttle twice. I don't know why, but it says to do that. Okay. Let's see. Auxiliary pump to auto. It already, no, where is it? It already is, isn't it? Okay, now it is. Fuel select to auto. Isn't it? I can't tell. Is it now? Hang on, let's move over and get a better look. I don't know, we'll find out in a second when we go down below. Autopilot trims on. And generator to main. Where's generator? Okay, generator to main. It already was. Okay, fine. Let's see what else we need to do. Bleed to auto under primary flight display. Bleed to auto under, it already is. That must be an update. AC fans, oxygen, we don't care about all this stuff. Anti-ice, yeah, sure, why not? We'll do that when we're in the air, though. Because, actually, no, you want to do it when you climb. Although, well, it depends, because this inertia separator, that you can lose power with that. Because that separates parts of the engine, so ice can fly out or fly through instead of damaging the engine. But when you separate it, it loses power. So use it if you need it on a climb, otherwise you can use it in the sky. Okay, we spent way too much time on this, but we have to get this thing started, right? Wind on, yes, it already is now. Flight plan, that's in the nav log. Hit BM barometer for weather, it already is. And set up autopilot, we'll worry about that later. Nav source FMS already is. Speed bugs on, I think that's over here. Speed bugs all on. All on. There you go. Perfect. Okay, some of this is coming back here to memory. Some of it isn't. We want full screen. So how do I do full screen here? No. Full screen on this one? No. I should remember how to do this. It's not difficult. How do I get to full screen on the multifunction? This is all... Here it is, right here. Boom, there. Told you, I knew how to do it. I know what I'm doing. Let's see. Let's zoom out a second. So we're just going to head that way, along that river, which I don't think is the Amazon. The Amazon River is up here somewhere, isn't it? That's not the Amazon, is it? The Amazon's up here, I thought. Uh-oh. Don't make a fool out of me. I always brag about how good my world geography is. And all of a sudden, Amazon's up here. Has to be. Yeah, that's what this, yeah, these are all the tributaries to the Amazon. This big, thick thing is Amazon. Yeah, I did look on a map, I'll admit it. Because I would be a super fool if I had that wrong. Anyway, back on task. Here we go. Zoom in. Because we have, because we have navigation. I forgot to talk about navigation because I'm kind of taking this for granted because we've done like 52 of these things. Navigation can be done in so many different ways. You can turn all this map stuff off and not use it. And then you have to rely, not on this, you have to rely on the nav log with their heading and timing and all this stuff, which we've done dozens of times. I don't have anything to prove to anybody, so we're not going to do it that way. We're literally just going to set autopilot to follow the purple line, because work smarter, not harder. We have the tools available to us, and we'll be getting back into slant alpha flying when we get back into the Jetstar, because there's a mega change happening to that airplane, which I'm not going to discuss in this video, but you have to be subscribed and follow the channel to find out what that mega change is going to be. But it'll go back to slant alpha flying there, so we don't need to do it here. So actually this would be slant alpha anyway. This would just be following heading and distance and time. Anywho, We've also looked at landmarks. So the way this works, for those of you who are new to a bush trip, first of all, these first videos and every bush trip is longer because I explain everything, because not everybody watches everything. The subsequent videos, much shorter, so don't worry. Unless you want them to be longer, then just watch them again. So what we're going to do, we're going to follow the purple line using autopilot. Not a big deal. We're going to stay pretty close to the ground so we can see. We're not going to stay too close to the ground because then it can't see. But if we're too high, you also can't see. So we're going to be about, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 feet above ground level. Not sea level, but ground level. So let's see here. If I move back over here, where we are right now, we're at 1,500 feet above sea level. So add another 1,500. That's 3,000 feet above sea level, which will put us another 1,500 above ground. So I'm going to set my autopilot on my desk, my Logitech multi-panel, which is not sponsored. I just tell you what it is, to 1,500 feet. I mean, 3,000 feet. Jeez. So that will be 1,500 above ground. Maybe we'll go higher if we need to. We will see. Actually, we're going to go higher because the trees will look silly too low. So then we will give a switch ready for vertical speed to climb. We'll use the purple line to navigate. And very simple. So once we're in the air, we will read about things, collapse it when we're done, read about the next thing, do some sightseeing, do some talking together. And is it going to expand everything? Yes, these are supposed to stay closed when you close that and open it, but ever since an update years ago, they screwed it up and they haven't changed it back. So that's how we're going to navigate. That's how we're going to do this. Very simple, very straightforward. We're not going to use ATC. Why? Because ATC is actually programmed for the entire bush trip, not just the leg. So we can use it to take off, but then when we want to land, it's going to tell us instructions to the final airport of the final leg. That's how it does it. We can use it like, airport by airport if we want to, but I don't feel like it today. Maybe we will in another leg. All right, flaps down 1. The HUD you cannot get rid of in a bush trip. You can't change anything in a bush trip. It's kind of like a mini game where everything's preset for you in terms of options and settings and your HUD, and you can't do anything about it. So when we taxi, we have to look at the HUD. That's fine though. It just makes it difficult for setting up sightseeing views with the drone. However, in this case, we should use the other runway, shouldn't we? Because Windows 225. Let's go to the other runway. The drone for sightseeing shots is how I do my sightseeing shots. And with autopilot is fine, but not every plane is autopilot. But anyway, I have had people ask me, how do you do the sightseeing shots when the HUD is in the way? I'm like, I don't use this. I use the drone view. But then you have to know how to turn the camera control on and off because you lose control of your airplane like this. All right, lots of talking, but it's been a long time since we've done this. And I have had a lot of subscribers, probably several hundred subscribers since the last bush trip. So just explaining how we do things. Sorry, I'm looking at my checklist, not the airplane. Alrighty, we got a limp thing there, limp windsock, which is how we want it. You don't always want a limp, but in this case you want it to be limp. Alright, everything looks fine, flaps are down, everything's on the way we want it, yada yada yada, at least the way we're going to use it for this bush trip. We would be a little more immersive if we're doing a full flight, but we're just doing this, and here we go. 290 degrees is much closer to 225 degrees than 11, which is 110 degrees. So we're going to use this runway. And we'll take off. If we can, differential braking. Oh good, my differential braking works great in this aircraft. Cool. Alrighty. Come on. Here we go. And I think everything's fine. Oops. Yeah, I don't know which way we need to go because I can't see that far. Anyway, we'll take off and then we'll follow the purple line. One turn to the right. Okay, cool. I keep thinking that's a bird, but it's a piece of dirt. Anyway, here we go. Gear up, right? This has gear, doesn't it? Yeah, there's gear going up. Gear up and climb a little bit here. Flaps up. And we need to turn to the right. Let's hand fly for a minute. Normally I engage autopilot right away, just because. And there's no other view. There it is. Very cool. Achievement. We have no more achievements. There were only 3 bush trip achievements in the beginning, very, very long ago. They no longer, I mean, I took care of them ages ago, and there haven't been any added since. Let's pay attention to what we're doing. Vertical speed, what are we at right now? Master warning, oh, too hot. Yeah, I'm still climbing, don't worry. Vertical speed, let's do 2,500 feet per minute. Autopilot, nav, vertical speed, bam. There we go. We're going to climb, I guess, 2,700 says now. Nav is on, so I'll follow the purple line. Is it going to follow the purple line? Or should I bend better? Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's bring back the throttles a little bit, get out of the red. There we go. And is it going to follow the purple line? Cool. Sometimes if you intercept further than 45 degrees or 40 degrees, it won't. Wait, what? Oh, we're already at cruise. Holy crap. Okie dokie. 3,500 feet is what we're going to do. We're going to follow the purple line. I have to keep an eye on my speed because you will overspeed and crash, have to restart the leg. And that's kind of a pain in the butt. All of our anti-icing is on. Let's turn that thing on too. Because you cannot turn icing off in a bush trip. So that's the other thing you need to worry about with weather, is if it's too cold and we're in a plane without icing, then you have to turn the weather off or change the weather to clear. OAT is 18 degrees Celsius. We're above freezing, so icing is not an issue at all. Alrighty, so now we need to read about where we're going and what we're doing. I just want to get started. Trying to get some nice selfies here in front of the sun. There we go. Alrighty, let's do some reading. In the navlog, lift off from the airport, which already did, and set a course to the northwest and fly over the Paraná River. The Paraná River is the second longest river in South America after the Amazon. It measures 3,000 miles in length and empties into the Atlantic Ocean, Argentina. The proper way to say Argentina is to add an H after the T. Argentina, which is hard for me to do. I'm not a native speaker. And that is a new alert on my phone that we're going to have to ignore. I can't edit out because I was talking. Alrighty, so that's what this is, right? POI 1, point of interest 1, is user waypoint 1. That's what that means. People have asked me what that meant. It just means user waypoint 1. And sometimes they get off in numbers because this will have airports at the end, and this doesn't count them for some reason, so then the numbers get off. Maybe they've changed that. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. So anyway, that's a few minutes away. We're getting there already. So while we get to this river thing, which I wish I could collapse it and would stay collapsed like it used to, but no. Anyway, we'll get to the river, the Paraná River, and then it'll change us more to the east. I'm just looking around here because we can. Remember, bush trips are VFR trips, and I think we're kind of low to the ground for sightseeing. It depends. See, if you want to see like vast areas, we're much too low. But if we're looking for a building, then we want to be low, right? Because otherwise you don't see the building. And then if you're in the mountains, it's a totally different conversation, which we don't need to have today. Alrighty, let's look out the window at this Pentagon-looking thing, whatever it was, campground, nudist resort. I don't know what that is, but it's interesting to me. It almost looks like palm leaf veins, doesn't it? Alrighty, cool. Is that a heart on the... No, I thought this was a heart. It's a kidney stone. Alright, let's see. Now that we're over the river, we're going to read about what's next. This will go quickly. Engineer Sergio Mota Dam turned to the northeast over the river and followed the river upstream like trout to the Sergio Mota Dam, formerly known as Porto Primavera. It is the longest dam in Brazil at just over 7 miles in length. Good grief, and that's 4 minutes out. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about this and this together, and then we'll give you sightseeing, which means I shut up. So we're going to look at the dam, and then we're going to fly over this reservoir, pass over the dam and fly the length of the reservoir held back by the dam. The reservoir fills a valley and is up to 7 miles wide by 155 miles long. At 870 square miles, the Engineer Sergio Mota Reservoir is Brazil's 4th largest reservoir by surface area. And then after the reservoir, we're going to look for the airport, skirt the eastern edge of the reservoir, and gain a visual on the airport, which spans the reservoir. Land at the airport, the bridge which spans the reservoir, land at the airport, located to the north of the bridge. Looks like a pretty easy airport to find, next to a city. It is paved. So we're going to fly over this river, look for the dam, look for the reservoir, look for a bridge, and look for the airport, all in one go, which means I'm going to be quiet now until it's time to approach. I am going to keep this altitude, I think. It's a little low, but I don't care. My lights go down here? There we go. Now it looks like a cartoon, but it does look like in this in real life. I have looked at airplane stuff in real life recently. I can't remember where, but I did, and it looks just like this. So I complain about how this looks like a cartoon. It looks just like this in real life, so no more complaints from me. Alrighty, there's the dam, there's the reservoir, eastern edge of the bridge, or eastern edge will be over here, so then there's a bridge and then the airport, and I'll see you in about, I don't know, it's going to be about 20 minutes for me, maybe 4 or 5 minutes for you, maybe less. Then we'll land, turn off the airplane, get credit, and then do it all over again for leg 2 in this video, so stay tuned. I'm going to quiet my voice down and you get to enjoy the beautiful sights of Brazil and the river. See you in a moment. And just like that, 5 minutes away, we got to prepare for this landing at SDEP. Looking for a bridge up ahead, and then the runway master caution. Why? That's my ITT in the red again. It is. Let's cool that down. Let's see. I did miss the dam back here in sightseeing because I ran upstairs quick to grab something. Ended up talking to my wife for like 15 minutes. Came back just in time. Just in time. I was like, oh, I got an airplane flying a short leg. I get back downstairs. Anyway, so sun is coming up now. And we're approaching our airport. And we're hot again, aren't we? What's the elevation of our airport? Does it say on here? Let's see. Okay, about 1,000 feet or so. Okay, so that means we want to come down at about 2,500 feet. So I'll put it 1,500 feet above ground level, so we should be able to see the airport that way. Looks pretty easy. We'll fly straight in from here, I believe. I mean, it says we have a tailwind of 5 knots. Actually, that could be accurate because they're pretty low to the ground. I was going to say we can't rely on the wind here, but we are low enough to the ground it might actually be accurate. So I guess we'll plan on doing a left traffic to land, unless this wind changes when we get closer. So as we get closer to the airport, then we'll drop down 1,000 feet to 2,500 feet, and then drop down from there. Standard, approach stuff. We're not going to talk about those details. Which reminds me, that's a pretty shot. Reminds me of when I was checking out forums and achievement pages for the sim when it was new, because there were so many bugs with the achievements back then, if you all remember. And I remember somebody asking how to get the achievement for bush trips, and someone said just fly the bush trip. And they're like, no, I need to know like how to get the plane in the air and how to fly the plane, how to land the planes and get the achievement. And we're all like, maybe you're not ready for bush trips. I just remember that silly memory. But anyway, this must be the huge bridge, the huge 7-mile bridge or whatever they're talking about right there. Did they say 7 miles? They didn't say 7 miles. The bridge, just spans the reservoir. The reservoir fills the valley up to 7 miles wide, but it's not 7 miles wide here. No, that's not 7 miles across, maybe 3 or 4. That is so pretty, isn't it? Look at that land down below. Just like real life. And I can confirm it's like real life because I was just an airplane myself. In fact, I was going to do a San Francisco VFR flight, a detailed one, but then the bush trips came out because I'm all just in San Francisco. I traveled. Those of you who follow the channel know how extraordinary that is that I traveled because of my health. Traveling is incredibly difficult. There's the airport right there. Traveling is incredibly difficult for me because of my health, but I had to do it for something. I won't get into the why, but I absolutely had to travel to San Francisco for 3 days. And overall, it was fine. It was fine. This has nothing to do with the bush trip, by the way. Those of you who are new here, most people come back for story time. That's what's happening right now, story time. But we're going to set this to 2,200 now, 2,100, because we're getting so close. Vertical speed, let's go down. About 1,100 feet per minute, bring back throttles. Anyway, and I think we're going to actually go over to heading bug here because we want to go around the airport. So let's set heading a little to the east, heading on autopilot. Autopilot, by the way, is right here in the airplane. I'm just using the panel on my desk. Bring back throttles even more because we're really high and really fast. Where'd the airport go? Anyway, story time. Yeah, there's the bridge, and there's the bridge right there. Anyway, we'll find the airport in a second. I think it's here. I thought it was there. Anyway, we'll find it. Let's see, gear down. Anyway, story time. I forgot what I was saying. That also happens during story times. I forget what I'm saying. Is that the... Oh, that's the runway. It was green. Alright, well, don't worry. We'll take over by hand in a moment. Wind change? Wind did not change. Perfect. Okay, cool. I guess we can kill autopilot now. There we go. Gears down. We'll do flaps in a moment. Alright, so yeah, let's do the first set of flaps right now. Alright, so story time. Totally forgot what I was saying. Sightseeing. Oh, San Francisco had to go for 3 days. My health is okay. Mostly because I was on adrenaline the whole time. I had a scary moment on the descent of the airplane flying out there, though. My heart palpitations were so high I thought I was having a heart attack, so that was kind of scary, but not unexpected. And then, let's see, flaps, 2 flaps, yep, okay. And then, what else? For the most part, it was okay, because I was in the car driving most of the time, and driving is very comfortable for me, and it's very helpful for my health, believe it or not. Even though it was a new area. San Francisco driving, by the way, easiest driving I've ever done. Anyway, at the airport before the way home, though, because of the stress of the reason I was there, that was kicking in, and I thought I was going to be at the hospital instead of on an airplane. So I barely made it home. But I traveled, so those of you who follow the channel, that might be something you find interesting. I was actually traveling. Couldn't believe it. I love traveling, I just can't. Okay, so there's story time for you. Nothing to do with the bush trip. That's how it is on the Tall Turtle channel. That's how we do things here. Alrighty, we are at touch our approach speed. A little early, but that's because we're coming down. We're flying like a bush trip now. We've done so many flights lately. with nice, long, appropriate approaches and things that doing a crazy approach and landing, short finals, all that stuff. We're finally back to that. I love it. I seem like I land better in the mountains and things than I do in big airports. Anyway, here we go. A little bit high, but that's okay. I'm flying like a tail dragger because I'm used to tail draggers, where you come in high and round out. Approach speed just below it. Perfect. We do have reversers in this because it's a triple prop. Little slow, little slow, little slow, little slow. Don't hit that tree. Don't hit that tree. Trees count. Trees count. There you go. I just wanted to land as short as possible, so I came out. I want to stall. Come on, touchdown. There you go. And reversers engage. Down nicely. Stopping on the dime. Reversers disengaged. And because we're going to do the next leg from here without restarting the sim, I am going to go to the end. And then, actually it doesn't matter because I'm going to have the back taxi. I just wanted to start up on the side and not on the runway for the next leg. Anyway, I think we covered everything in this first leg we needed to do. Again, these videos are longer for the first video of a bush trip simply because we have all the introduction stuff, right? So this will be a very long video, but then the next 2 videos or 3 videos for this bush trip will be short. And then we'll have the other 2 bush trips, but I might do more videos in between. Normally when there's bush trips, I do all 3 back to back to back. But that one has the prop animation going, sort of. See that? Oh, that's kind of funny. But I might... Oh, do we have somebody waiting for us? I don't think we have to land where they are, but... or park where they are, but we could. Anyway, for these 3 bush trips, because I'm not expecting bush trips now for many, many months, I might spread them out more. So we'll see. I used to do them back to back to back for engagement, right? So people would be looking for a bush trip. I'd be one of the first people to do it. In some cases, the only person to do it on YouTube. So then I would get more engagement that way. But then it's too stressful for me, especially when they're like 9 hours long. So let's see. We're not going to go to the parking spot. There's somebody up there waiting for us, but we're just going to park right here. So anyway, don't expect all 3 bush trips back to back to back this time. Alrighty, parking brake up. Let's just go here, and this should end the flight for us, right? Or do I need to do more? Okay. Do I have to do more? Do I have to start this up and go somewhere else? See, this is why I normally stop on the runway. Is this person waiting for us here? Alright, so they want us to park here. Normally we don't have to, but in this case we do perhaps. So let me get this started back up again. Whoops. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, I didn't do anything. It just counted. So there we go. That's the first leg. It only took 43 minutes. Only. Because I went to talk to my wife for a while. Normally it would only be like 15. So anyway, leg 2, here we go. Alright, back in the plane. Let's see if I can start this up without really worrying about all the details, just for sake of time. Battery, main, all this should still be on, and it is. And it should just be starter right now. Everything else should already be fine, because the way we left it. So it should start up here. And there it goes. And while it's doing its thing, let's read about where we're going now. We're going SSBC, Sierra Sierra Bravo Charlie. We're going to lift off from the airport and continue tracking to the eastern side of the reservoir to the town of Panorama. The town is located near the juncture of the river and the reservoir. Okay, so we're going to a nice town. That's a few minutes out. And then after the town, we're going to track the river's course to the northeast, gain a visual on Tres Lagos, the city on the western bank of the Panorama River, pass over the Francisco de Sá Bridge, which spans the Paraná River at the point adjacent to the city. So 2 cities. So we'll get in there, we'll fly those 2 cities, and then 7 seconds later, 7 seconds later, there's a dam. Oh, then after that, there's a... Okay, I guess we're just going to read this whole leg before we even get in there. Let's get that going, though. Then we're going to pass over the dam, hydroelectric, and then after that we go to the airport, which again should be pretty easy to find. So 2 cities, a dam, and an airport. There we go. So once we're in the air and everything is set, we will, what will we do? We will, what are we going to do? Sorry, there's something else I have to talk about. I just remembered. We'll get in the air, we'll yap a little bit, because I'm yappy today, and then we will land. Very quick flight. Okay. Multi-fly. Okay, so notice we lost our GPS. But did we? The way to get this back, and it took me like 42 push trips to figure this out. The way to get this back is going to the flight plan. Or do we? Oh, no. Hang on. Okay. In the other Garmin systems, and if you lose your thing, your purple line, you go into the flight plan, and you just put in, you just select the next user input. Remember I said those user things were there? But they're gone. What? They're gone. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so this is what's happening. If you continue from one leg to the next leg without restarting the sim, which is what we did because we just came from that other leg, you lose your GPS line. So for example, the next video, I'm going to be leaving the simulator and coming back. So the next video, the next leg, is going to have the purple line again. But we lost it because I went from leg to leg without stopping in between, or without leaving the sim. It's a bug they've had for a long time. What I normally do is I go into flight plan and everything is still there. You just put GPS directly towards it, so it'd be user whatever, user 4. And it would be here, and you just select user 4, fly direct. It will continue following your line. But we lost it entirely. So what we could do is you are heading, enter time, and follow everything nicely. But we're not. We're going to put in the destinations. Sierra, Sierra, Bravo, Charlie. And we're just going to fly to Sierra, Sierra, Bravo, Charlie. And is it really Malibu Confondante? It is. So then we're going to go there. And then we're going to fly direct there. And there we go. So that means, are we going to miss anything? I don't think so, because the stuff we're looking for is right along that path, right? Because what are we looking for? Let's see. Well, first let's actually set our heading bug to 49 degrees, so we can kind of go in that direction. There we go, 49. And then altitude, let's do, what, a 3,500 I did? I can't remember what I did. Anyway, there we go. So reservoir, then there's this little island thing, and the town is right there, so we're going to see it. And then there's another town right up here, which we're going to see. So we're going to see everything flying direct. I'm not going to worry about it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, piece of cake. All right, there. Make sense? Was that too fast? I don't know. Maybe it was. Let's get our takeoff flap set. Autopilot is set for 3,500 feet. I'll adjust vertical speed once we're in the air. You used to be able to adjust vertical speed on the ground, but something changed after an update. Have the heading bug set, although now I have a GPS line, so it doesn't matter. There you go. All right. Wind. Do we have a wind? It's going to say no wind, probably. I think what we're going to do, because I'm feeling lucky, is we're going to just take off from this runway behind us, even though it might be a tailwind of like 2 knots or something. Again, roll weather still turned on. And the sun has come up now since when we started. But everything should be good to go, right? Am I forgetting anything? That seems too easy. I don't think it's too easy. I think I'm just getting back into the groove already. I think so. So anyway, we'll come out here. Plenty of fuel. Do not need repair and refuel. Let's get going here. We are going to spool up for this one. So let's stop right here. Spool it up. And away we go. And the speed bug should still be on, or did they turn off? I think the speed bug's turned off. Whoops. That's okay. I know what we need to do to take off. I'm not worried. Here we go. Do. And we'll pop off in a moment here and upsy daisy. There we go. Whew. Nice. Brakes to stop the wheels. Gear coming up. And flaps coming up. And autopilot engage. Vertical speed. We'll do 1400 feet per minute because we're not in a hurry. Check out the town while we're here. Looking good. Appropriate auto gen for the region. And let's hop outside for this one. Wow, that's being kind of herky-jerky. There's the bridge they were talking about with trees. And that's loud. It's probably bleeding through my mic. There we go. Nice, beautiful Brazilian town. I was going to say beautiful Brazilian town in Brazil. I want to look at this. But now we're missing it. Oh well. Alrighty, over the reservoir we go. Reservoir the entire time, basically. Until we get to a town, and then the airport. 22 minutes away, it says. Really? 22 minutes? What was the time on the leg? 12 minutes. How? What? Maybe when we level off, we'll gain a lot of speed here. Because that's almost double what it says it is. Well, let's get the ITT. Come on. I think ITT is internal turbine temperature, I think. Interstage turbine temperature. Which I guess I could read about what that means. But anyway. Yeah. Probably temperature between like high and low pressure stuff, I'm guessing, right? Interstage, between stages. High pressure stage, low pressure stage. That's what I'm guessing. Anyway, let's keep this thing as close to firewall as we can without causing some alarms. We're at 3,500 feet now, so that means I want to stop talking already. See, I talk less after the first leg because you already know what's going on. And there's still, what's the time say now? 15 minutes. So now it's way less than what they said. So there you go. Look for some towns, and I'll see you when it's time to approach. Alright, 4 minutes to landing. Super successful, super easy, right? Told you it was going to get easier as we get along. It's just that first leg explaining everything and figuring out what we're doing for the bush trip and the airplane is what makes it so yappy. Anyway, just enjoying the views with you because that is super beautiful. What if we get closer to here? We can't get closer to there. In fact, it pushed us backwards. Alrighty, looking out that way. Even more beautiful. Very, very, very high quality scenery. Just the way I like it. And I love this plane. Although I love the big radial stuff even more at this point. But I can't put their airplanes in these bush trips. However, big radials, when they sent me their airplanes, they did include bush trips. So I actually do have a few bush trips. Third-party bush trips. I just haven't done them because they're very long. And I'm struggling to find time to do the videos that I do make because of real life. So maybe someday. But yes, Big Radios has sent me their own bush trips. Parts of those planes, I think, actually. Alrighty, so let's see here. We're getting closer. Just after the water opens up, across from here. So there's a city there we'll look at, and then we'll look for the airport here, which if you look at the reference image, it's paved, right? Yeah. Paved in a field. Shouldn't be too bad. 1 knot wind, so I'm not really worried about it. We'll just fly, well, I don't know. Depends what easy we can spot the airport. Maybe we'll do a left traffic pattern again. Maybe we'll fly over center field, midfield, and do a traffic pattern. I don't know. We'll find out as we get closer here. But anyway, the next legs and the next video, so make sure to subscribe, notifications turned on so you know when those legs go live. Hit the like button so people know we exist. Play the algorithm game. There's my outro now, even though we have another 6-7 minutes of video at least. But just want to get that out of the way. So, anywho, coming up on the city, and then we'll be preparing to land. Flight attendants, prepare for landing and crashing, or whatever they say. Yeah. Prepare. Prepare. You're flying with turtle, so you never know what's going to happen. Alrighty. Anyway, let's enjoy the city together, shall we? Alright, looking outside. I was going to try to catch a view down that highway, but it was a little late. Let's start final looks around the airplane. There's our airport right up there. So we need to pay attention and land. There it is, right there. So I guess we're going to go over to midfield. Just because I was too busy looking around. So let's turn off autopilot. Use the appropriate view. And yeah, I'll get landing gear in a second. Fine, let's do it now. We're going to do a right traffic pattern because we flew over the middle already. And with the wind, we want to land to the right up here, facing the other way. Landing gear's down, isn't it? What? Landing gear's down. What are you complaining about? Anyway, there's the airport. Right there. Can't see it because the wind's in the way, but it's there, I promise. And the wind just changed. Okay, so now... Well, I think it's still the right runway choice. But yeah, still the right choice. It's just going to be perpendicular to us. All right, time to do a base turn here. You can see where the airport is on the GPS if you like. Otherwise, we'll find it here. Let's not get too low because we're going to lose sight of it. Anyway, pretty straightforward. Right traffic pattern. We're making this up as we go. Let's trim back. Holy cow, I'm fighting this yoke hard. There we go, much better. Let's go a little bit slower here into flap range. And if I could see out my windows better with peripheral vision, we could spot the runway. There it is, way down there. We'll get there eventually. First set of flaps. Not get too low. And we'll get a second set of flaps in a second here, about 100 or so. And yeah, perpendicular wind, but it's only a couple knots, right? Yeah, it's not going to do much at all. We have some trees in the way. We need to be aware of that. And full flap, which is just 2 sets. Approach, about 85. Ooh, we're floating around. That's fine. Alright, so we have these lovely trees directly in our path here. So let's see here. How do we want to do this? I think we'll do a tail dragger style, where we'll come from high, swoop down low, round out at the bottom. You just have to be careful of your speed, because when you point down, you gain speed, right? So if you are too fast already, and you point down, you're going to be too fast more. So we're going to want to be a little bit below approach speed, more like touchdown speed when we swoop down. And then we should be okay. So let's get a little bit lower. 500 feet above ground, and those trees are like half that distance? No way these trees are 250 feet high. What? No. Anyway, let's not hit them. They do count. Like I said many times now, they count. It used to be freebies. In the very beginning of bush trips, trees were freebies. You could hit them, it didn't matter. Now if you hit them, you got to start the leg over. So let's get past these trees. There we go. Come on down now. We're also fighting a crosswind, but that's okay. It looks like we're going fast, but we're not. We should hit stall. There we go. Whoa, come on. Fighting the crosswind here, crabbing in a little bit. Why are we taking so long to touch down? Come on. Really? I mean, it was smooth, but it took me way too long. Reversers engaged on the brakes, although we're going to stop on a dime. It doesn't really matter. And there you go. Reversers done on the brakes. Hit the parking brake, and we're going to turn it off here, and hopefully it counts. We'll see if it counts here in a second. Anyway, so there you go. I'm assuming it's going to count. Let's just sit here for a second. And let's see. Nothing else to say. I already did my outro like a minute or two ago. Please count. We just have to wait for the prop to stop spinning. It takes a while. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the first two legs, first video of this bush trip. I love this bush trip. It's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so there we go. I love it. It's beautiful. So hopefully you'll join me for the next legs, and I'll see you next time.